Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at Robin from Mattel's Young Justice line. Now, I was initially hesitant to pick up this figure for reasons I'll go into in a few minutes, but the fact that he was on sale and comes with this pretty wicked looking base eventually did sort of sway my opinion, and obviously the fact that I don't have a more traditional looking Robin. So, yeah, a little bit of a read up on the character on the back, but I imagine everybody knows who Robin is. The interesting thing is the fact this is based on the Dick Grayson Robin rather than the Tim Drake one, which people kind of assumed. But hey, whatever. Hold on a second till I get him out of pack. Like the other Wave 1 Young Justice figures, Robin's build is coming with 7 accessories, and those accessories are his little wrist communicator slash computer. For some reason they opted to do it all as the translucent blue plastic as opposed to just having this pop-up screen like that. Kind of weird. His bow staff. Probably should have pegged him in. 2 exploding discs. 2 batarangs. And then what looks to be a grappling gun. Now, just to meet that 7 quota, I think they kind of went the cheap route by giving us doubles of some items. Unlike, say, the Aqua Lad one, which they gave us 7 different ones. But hey, whatever. Now, he also comes with this really kick-ass stand. Unfortunately, there's no way to peg it into the wall, as other people have pointed out, so it would look completely awesome in a wall. Also, this thing randomly popped out when I opened the box. I think it is supposed to attach some. Now I dropped it. Problem for another time. Jumping onto the figure. I mean, the thing I don't like about it right off the bat is the lack of a neck. I mean, if you look at the illustration, just like the cartoon, he's got a pretty long neck, but right here, no neck. Also not feeling the head sculpt here. It's really too wide, kind of squat, as opposed to the more tall slash narrow one that I recall from the cartoon. But the biggest issue by far is just the general body build. I mean, it's kind of stout, muscular, whereas again, if you look at that, he's got a really lanky, thin build. So I mean, as far as Robin likenesses go, it doesn't seem to match the cartoon all that well. The one thing they kind of got right, though, is just the height. It looks like he's at the old teen scale for the DC Universe Classics, which is much shorter than the new teen scale. Meaning that it fits because Robin was a younger character in the cartoon and wasn't as tall as some of the older teen characters like Aqua Lad here. And otherwise, you know, pretty decent looking sculpt. It's got a really kick-ass looking belt. Lots of features molded on. And then even the little shoes here, which I guess are like tabby or whatever, like ninjas wear, have a cool amount of detail. Mine, however, I'm not sure if it's because of the way it was contained or what, but his hips don't seem to really stay in that well. Plus, you've got this really noticeable gap between the leg and then the groin plate, which is kind of sucky. Probably not the right word to use. Otherwise, if you look at the hands here, they're a lot wider than you. And it's hard to explain, but if you look at Keldor's hands here, it's really sort of clenched more just so he can hold the items, whereas his left hand doesn't look like it's going to hold anything. I'm wondering if it distorted in pack because of the way he was holding the bow staff or like the dynamic pose, or whether it's actually intended that way. But the other one's a more properly sculpted one. Obviously, not terribly impressed by this figure. I mean, the cape is pretty nice, though. Although, when you look at the illustration, sorry, it's been a while since I've seen the cartoons. I'm basing a lot off this illustration, which may or may not actually be correct. But if you look at the cape in the illustration, it goes well down, like halfway down his calves, whereas this doesn't even hit his knee. So again, kind of funky. Also, that one has a neat cloak effect where it covers the shoulders partially, and this one doesn't touch the shoulders at all. Granted, you do get better articulation for that, but yeah, it's just an inconsistent detail. So that's kind of bites. Quick run through of articulation. You get a point of rotation at the wrist, a single joint at the elbow, rotation at bicep. Head rotates mostly, a little up down. Ab crunch. Hold on a second. I made the mistake of not breaking in the ab crunch and waist movement before I started reviewing this figure. I mean, it's points that you know that the character has, but at the same time, nah. At any rate, he doesn't have as much forward as he does back for some reason. Waist somewhat impeded by the belt. Actually greatly impeded by the belt. Leg, he has a pretty impressive upward motion. Oftentimes he'll be somewhat impeded. For whatever reason, this one does seem to go up a bit further. You will notice that paint-wise, you know, it's just like a red paint put over the black here, and the black is showing through on both sides, so I assume it's probably a common fault. By the way, in general, paint for the line, you know, they do use lots of solid colors. Typically, I guess kind of brighter tones as well, because it is based on animated series look. So I mean, shadowing and stuff doesn't so much fly. But as mentioned, this kind of crappy. Rotation at thigh, single joint knee, single joint ankle. I don't think there's a pivot, although I'm kind of feeling looseness. In general, though, the joints seem just to feel a little bit on the weak side for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just because they're a bit thinner. But yeah, this has been a look at the Young Justice Robin. I don't know. I mean, I guess he's the best option currently available for the show and everything, because they haven't done a Robin since, but I can't help but think they'll probably do a much nicer Robin down the line that'll more conform to his appearance in the cartoon and stuff. I mean, he's okay otherwise. Again, it's mostly just a likeness issue, and then I just dislike the fact he's got no chin and the shape of the face. But yeah, until next time, folks.